Hey guys! Welcome back to our new episode of Swish and Flick Reads. We're so glad to see you here again. We're glad to have you back.
You, my friend.
Today we'll be doing
Tropes or cliches that we dislike. We think they're just so overused and then they're boring when you're reading the book. So we're going to talk about those cliches.
Without further ado, let's get started. First of all, first trope that I dislike is the trope of the love triangle. This is like a really common trope that we constantly see throughout the YA novels. It becomes really annoying and frustrating when you have this character who finds a love interest and they're like, okay, they're in love and they love each other and they're like, oh my god, this is like an incredible relationship, and then throughout the story we are presented with another love interest and our character falls in love with this other love interest, and it is not cool, it is not nice, and the character thinks like, maybe if I play between them like a ping pong ball, this is going to be nice and it's going to be end up being healthy or good for me and for them, and that's not okay. So I really dislike the love triangle.
What I don't like about love triangles is that, well, I've seen love triangles of one girl and two boys. I never read a book of two girls and one boy, but still there's this girl and this boy who meets and they have this relationship for a long time, and then in the middle of a crisis the girl meets the bad guy or the hot guy.
Yeah.
She falls for him, and it doesn't matter how many times or how long she has known this other guy. Just the second she meets this hot guy, she falls for him, and then she forgets about the other one, and just this conflict that I just don't like. That if you're in the middle of a crisis, you don't have to be so interested about who to choose. If you're the hero of the story, you should be more interested in how to save the world instead of who you're going to end up with. And I think that's just, it gets you out of the plot, the main plot or the main conflict, and instead of a like fantasy or a dystopian book, you just get a romantic book, which I don't like romantic books.
Yeah, I think that if done well, you can put a romance in a book, but if your main plot is going to be like saving the world or saving your people or has another theme that you want to speak of, you shouldn't put the romantic interest on top of everything and add a love triangle. That makes it worse. So, love triangles,
Bye bye.
bye. Second trope we dislike.
Oh, the second trope is a bad villain or underdeveloped villain. And the first one is there are a lot of villains who have a traumatic past, and because of that traumatic past they want to destroy the world or they want to get revenge. And I think it's not necessary to have a traumatic past to be a villain. You can have just a different point of view of the situation, and then you can get so attached to the villain and make a good character. Also, I think that a bad villain is one who wants to be like the hero, and I've seen this in a lot of, not only books but in movies, that the villain has the same power as the hero because they want to be in the same like symphony. And of course, if the villain and the hero has the same power, the hero is going to win the battle at the end. That's the cliche about having the same power. If you're going to be a good villain, then you have to use your logic and just go around the hero and use another power. Just use your mind to go ahead and win the battle. You don't have to be at the same level. If you're going to be a villain, you have to be more logical about your decisions and not just doing it out of your mind and just out of revenge or anger.
Yeah, and I personally have a favorite villain, and that's Major Apprentice from the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. And I think that this villain is so well done and so incredibly fascinating. Each time I read about him and he appears in each scene of the book, you really see that he doesn't play fire against fire. He uses another type of power to win this battle, and he's not your typical villain that we see throughout books and movies. So, like, it's really tired to see this idea of a villain we already have. And so I think that Major Apprentice redesigns the idea of a good villain. of what makes a villain. A villain is not just a bad guy and oh my god, he's just bad, he's just bad, he's just bad, and he's going to use the same power as a hero to defeat the hero. He uses other things to defeat the hero, and I think that's when you have the ability to do this, it creates an amazing villain that you will never forget.
Another villain I like is Dolores Umbridge, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I think she's a well-developed villain because she's doing her job. She works at the ministry and she has to follow these orders and put these rules at the school. And I think it's a good villain because you have to put a stop to all the hero actions. You have to put a limit to what they do. It's not like she takes her wand out and fights the heroes. No, she's like, you can use magic, you can use this. And well, the heroes, they're stressed because they can't do anything and they have to go around the situation, and she does that perfectly. So undeveloped villain, if you're not a good villain and you're in a book, sorry, I'm not going to read you and I hate you for that.
Yeah.
So
by third trope we don't like in books is happily ever after. So happily ever after or slash happy novel, like a novel is happy throughout the whole thing. That's, oh my god, that's freaking annoying. So I think that Disney has a reputation throughout history of making this type of stories with happy endings and happy storylines throughout them. It's obvious because their target audience are kids, right? So of course kids have to see this positive side of life, but I think that it's also important that you show the reality and flaws.
And also, like a good book, it's always about ups and downs. And for example, I love this book that is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. And throughout the whole book, you get this feeling of satisfaction and joy, and you fall in love with the characters. But at the end, I'm not going to spoil the end for you, but it just hits you with the wall of reality. And the author is like, oh, you're having fun and you're falling in love with these characters. Oops. Sorry, it's not like that.
That's true.
And I think it hits you with reality that not everything is on the top of the mountain. You have to be ups and downs, and I think a lot of books have to have this more often, and not just like this sweet side of the whole story.
Yeah, and you can have a happy, good, and satisfactory ending, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to sacrifice things or people throughout the story before the ending. So that's why we don't like happily ever afters. So happily ever after,
Bye bye.
this goes to you. The fourth trope we do not like is the black and white characters. And what do we mean by black and white characters? And this is the characters that tend to be or in this side or in this side. I don't like this because we as human beings have a spectrum of characteristics and traits that make us us. And for example, this character, Kate Harker from This Savage Song, is really just on the black side. She doesn't want anyone to see her flaws, her mistakes. She just wants to be like I'm a badass girl and I'm going to be like my father, merciless and strong, and I'm never going to be sad. I am never going to be disappointed by anyone. And that's a really dumb kind of thinking because
It doesn't work.
it doesn't work that way. You're not just going to be like, oh my god, I'm tough and I'm never going to show any disappointment or anything that ruins my reputation like of a cool girl. Like, it's not like that. There's not just a black and white, there's a spectrum between.
So I dislike that kind of character because they always have like a traumatic past and they don't want to show it to anyone, and you know it, and you're like, when are you going to show to us that you have this other side? And if it's a trilogy, mostly at the end of the third book you're going to see that side, and it's so stressful for us readers to not see the other side and the character development that takes up with the situation.
Yeah.
And also I want to talk about this character that it's Lila, a darker shade of magic, and it's the same as Kate Harker. She learns how to steal. she learns how to fight and how to survive alone. But just because she knows how to be alone, she doesn't want to be with anyone else, or she doesn't want the help of anyone else. She's like, oh, I'm falling for this person. I'm sorry, going to kill him because I don't want to be with this person. And it's not cool to be just the baddest kind of person. And I think a lot of YA authors are trying to empower girls by making this badass version of her, of women. They want to empower girls, and with this version of badass woman, and it doesn't work for me. Like, you don't have to be badass to be an empowered girl. Black and white characters, I'm sorry, but you're so boring. Bye bye.
Bye. Fifth and the last trope we're going to talk about is the chosen one. And here we have a perfect example, Harry Potter. But it's a good example of a chosen one because you see, tropes are a great tool sometimes if they're well done, like Harry Potter, because a chosen one is not always going to be perfect, and that's what I like about Harry Potter, that you see that even though he's a chosen one, because he has this power that can save them all, he makes mistakes throughout the whole series. You can see that he makes mistakes after and over again, and that's how it's supposed to be. Main cliches that we don't like to read about, and we're sure there's a lot more that we don't like, but we're not going to talk about them all. But if you wish us to make another video about cliches and things that we don't like to see in books that are common, leave it down in the comments below and we will gladly do it. We love to hear from you guys every time you write to us. It's like, it means a lot to us, so leave a comment below and remember that it's all about the swish and the flick.
And don't forget to swish and flick down below on the subscribe button and leave your comments and your thoughts. We'll leave the link to our Instagram page so you can go ahead and follow us and stay tuned to new videos. Bye bye!
Bye guys!